Okay, good morning again, colleagues. My name is Lawrence Asani from the Postgraduate School RCD Research Capacity Development Unit. I'm delighted to be your moderator for today's Microsoft PowerPoint training session 2. I would like to start off by thanking all the attendees for taking their time to join, and most importantly, our presenter, Mr. Chungamirai Chuma. And before I begin the session, I would like to let everybody know that the session will be recorded and all the recordings will be posted on our model communities by the end of the week, together with any material of the workshop. I'd like to go over some housekeeping rules as well. Uh, as I say that, please note that the session will be recorded and the material will be posted on our model communities. If you have any questions during the workshop, please feel free to use the Q&A session or the chat section, or you may raise your hands. I will unmute your mic and indicate to the presenter so that we may address the question, whether in the chat box or unmute your mic so that you may speak. A feedback survey will be sent during the session on the chat session. I would like to please request you to all fill out again so that we may get insight of whether this workshop was useful and how we may improve in the future, as well as to provide some kind words to the facilitator for their hard work. So before I begin the session, I would like to introduce our facilitator, Mr. Chuma, by reading his bio. So Mr. Chuma currently works as a EUC senior tutor for the Applied Information Systems Department at the University of Johannesburg. He facilitates MS PowerPoint session to equip students with necessary skills required for them to complete the study successfully. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Chuma, our facilitator. You may kindly begin the session, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, students, lecturers, and doctors, and other organizers who are among the meeting. My name is Chungamirai Chuma. I'm the Senior Tutor of Applied Information Systems at University of Johannesburg. I'll be presenting Microsoft PowerPoint, and we are going to have question and answer time. Then if you are lost in between the session, feel free to raise your hand or to write in the chat box so that maybe we can be on the same page. Thank you. So the first thing, we are just going to do a recap of what you did last week. So I just want some people to confirm if they can see my screen and if they can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Maybe
Okay,
others.
let me just finish off to share the screen.
Okay.
It's a screen. Okay, you can see it now.
Yes, I can see your screen. I think everybody's confirming that they can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so we can start the session now. So, firstly, I want to apologize for not showing up last week. I am very sorry. But what we were supposed to do last week, we are going to do it today. Right. So the first thing I'm just going to do a recap of what you did in the first session for PowerPoint. The first thing is I'm just going to mention the difference between a slide and a layout, because as we go with the session, you need to know the difference between the slide and the layout, right? So the slide, just assume having a bond paper which is just clear, then you put some lines or you put some shapes, circles, squares on the bond paper. It means you are putting a layout, right? So the first thing you discover that when you click where it says slides, there are title slides, title and content, section header, to content, comparison, title only, content and caption. There are a lot of what? Names of slides, right? When you also check on the layout, you see the same names, meaning the slide which I'm currently having is title slide. I can change the layout of the slide by clicking a different what layout, meaning I'm changing the layout but on the same slide. So those are the difference between the slide and the layout, right? So for now, I'm just going to insert a new slide, which will be a blank slide, right? So on the blank slide, I'm going to insert shapes. I just want to group and ungroup shapes. So for you to be able to know how to group and ungroup shapes. So I'm going to click on the shapes. I'm just going to select the first one as a rectangle. So when you select a shape, it's not inserted at the same time. You need to check. You have in a sign which is more like an additional, like a plus sign. This is the one you use when you are drawing the shape. So you press left on your mouse, then you drag on the space where you want to where you want to insert your shape. Once you are done, you release, right? You've inserted your new shape, right? You discover that when you finish inserting the shape, there will be a new tab which appears which says shape format. So meaning you can be able to format the shape by inserting content inside. You can also change the color, you can also change the rotation, you can also change the height and the width of the shape, right? So I'm going to insert another shape. So I go on the insert tab, right? I go on the shapes, I check maybe this one, which is the oval. I select it, I drag it there, I insert another shape, right? Now I have two shapes, right? If I select this one to change color, I have to change color for this shape. Then I select this one as well and I do the same, right? But if you know that you want the same color and the same properties for both shapes, it means you need to group them. How do you group them? You select the first shape, you select control on the mouse or on the keyboard, sorry. You select control, then you select another shape. It means now two shapes are selected. So you cannot select two shapes or more than two shapes at the same time without pressing what? Control. So you select the first shape, you press control without releasing, then you select the second, third, fourth, up to the up to the end, depending on the number of of shapes. Once you have selected, you need to go on your right hand side where it says group. You click the drop down, it says what? Group. So now, because I have grouped the shapes, it means I now have a single selection. When I select the shapes, I select them once without selecting them separately. So if I want to change any color or anything, it affects both shapes. But if I don't have the selection or the grouping, it means when I change the color, it only affects one shape. So I'm going back to the grouping, then I say ungroup. Now, I now have these shapes separately. If I select this shape, then I come here, then I change the color. It will only affect a single shape. Why? Because they are not in the same group. They are independent to each other. So that's how grouping works. So when you are grouping shapes, you are avoiding selecting colors for every shape. You do this for this shape, you go back again, you repeat the same thing. But now if you have done the selection, control, you select, then you group them here, then you change the color, it will affect both both shapes. Whatever you do for one shape, it affects the two shapes. So that's all about grouping, right? So I'm going to the next item. I'm going to insert another new blank slide. Right. So on the blank slide, I'm just going to insert the smart art. But the thing you need to know, under the insert tab, that's where you have insert tables, meaning you can insert tables on your what? On your blank space like this. You can insert your table whenever you want to write content inside. You can insert a table, and these are the options to edit your table, right? So we are just doing a recap by showing you how you do certain things. Then we are going to do an example which contains some of the detailed information, right? So this is how you insert a table. However, when you say insert table, you can say insert table, then you need to know, okay, so let me repeat this point. You click insert table. If you drag like this, it means you just need a quick table whereby you're just going to say 3 by 2 or 3 by 3 or this by this. But if you want specifics, you need to know the number of columns you want. If you want 15 columns, right? And you also want maybe 30 or 60 rows, right? You write in, then you say, okay. Then your table will come with what? 15 columns. Remember, the columns come from the left to the right, then rows come from the top to the bottom. So these are rows as we go down, 1 2 3, going down are rows. As we go this side, these are what are columns, right? So whenever you are presenting or whenever you are doing your PowerPoint, you need to have the number of columns and the number of rows which you expect. So if I want, let's say 5 rows, 5 columns, I'll say 1 2 3 4 5, right? I have 5 columns with 1 row, but I might say I want also maybe 7 rows. I'll say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So meaning this is my what? My table. And you have the chance to also what? Change the style of your table by changing the colors, the sizes of the lines and everything, right? So let's go to the next item. I'm going to insert another blank presentation. Then I'm going to insert the smart art, right? So on the smart art, I'm going specifically on the what? On the hierarchy. Then I say hierarchy. Then I say okay, right? So this is the hierarchy. There are 2 things which you need to know. We have options which I need, we have items which I want you to know on the right hand side, which says promote and demote, right? So let's assume it's a company, it is a CEO, maybe it is a manager 1 there, and also maybe manager 2, right? So for this manager, if we want him to be on the same level with the CEO, for him to go up, it means we click what? Promote. So that's how the shape can go up. So he can go up to the same level with the CEO, but if something happens, he can also be what? Demoted, meaning he can go back on the same what? On the same level below the what? The CEO. So that's how you play with shapes. Whenever you are promoting or demoting, that's how you do the things. So you can also change the sides by saying things which are on the right, you have to go on the left. The things on the left, you have to go on the right. You just use the option to say what? Left to right. This is how you what? You do it. You can also click what? Move down. It can move down, downwards. That's how you move. So you can move up, it will be moving to the right, to the left. Moving up, it will be moving to the left. So left, right, use move up, move down. Then top to bottom, you use what? promote, and demote. You also have the option to add what? Add shape. So I have selected manager 1. I can say add shape after. It means a new shape will come after what? After manager 1. So that's how you play around with what? With promoting, demoting, moving up, moving down, right? In terms of the colors, we are going to do them when we are doing a specific example, right? Let me insert another blank slide. Right now, okay, now I'm coming on the themes, right? On the themes, we have office themes. So the office themes are the themes which are built in, which comes with the Microsoft package. We have different names of office themes. We have office theme, which would be more like a natural slide, which does not contain colors or any designs. We also have what? Other themes like facet. We have other themes like Berlin. They have different what? They have different colors and different designs. These ones are office themes because they come with the Microsoft package. However, in PowerPoint, you can also have a what? A custom theme. You can create a custom theme by selecting your own color. You can say maybe violet to there. You are selecting your own color. You can also change the font to any font of your choice. You can also change the what? The effects and everything. Once you have changed everything, the effects and the colors, you'll be able to save that theme, and it will be an office what? An office a customized theme. So I can use for example this theme. I can use this theme. Then I can change the color for this theme to violet 2, right? I can change the font to any font. I can say, which font can I use? Yeah, maybe I can just use that office. I can also change maybe the effects to any effect of my choice. I can change also the what? The background style, right? Yeah, I can put this one as the background style, right? Once once I am done with this, I can say apply to all the slides. It's applied to all the slides. Now, because I have been editing my own theme and I am done with editing the theme in terms of the font and everything, you see that my theme will appear where it's written what? This presentation. It means this theme, it's not a built-in theme. It's a theme which I have customized, right? So I can save this theme by clicking what? Save. Then I can just write the name, maybe Africa there. Then I say save. Right. If I click back to the themes, you see that it says this presentation, meaning the presentation is having this theme. When I go under custom, I now have a new theme, which is what? Africa, meaning I have customized a new theme. I have themes which are built in like Berlin and everything, but I have now customized my own theme. Meaning, when you are doing your presentation, it depends what kind of presentation it is. You might want more of green colors, more of red, more of black, more of what? Meaning you can customize your theme by changing those colors and all those styles on the variants so that you can have a unique what? A unique theme. So if you save this theme on this PC, anytime you want to use that specific theme, you are now coming on your what? On your custom themes, meaning you can use those custom themes for your project, right? We are done about the themes. We are going on the transitions. So I'm going to finish off these few things before we jump into our exercise. I'm just going to give you time to ask anything you need to know regarding the themes and everything. We are just browsing through, right? So now we have transitions and we have animations, right? So transitions, they are applied when we are moving from one slide to the other. So meaning I can have this one for this slide, I can go to the next slide and I can select a different one. So we have fracture, I can select the one which is return crash, right? Meaning I can apply transitions to different slides so that when I'm playing my slideshow, I'll be able to see those what transitions. So I'll be moving from one slide. The system has to show me like I'm moving from one slide to another slide, from one slide to another slide. So that's when you use what? Transitions. Right. Animations you use them when you're applying them on the what? On the shapes inside the slide, or when you're applying them on the text inside the slide, right? So this one is an animation. It's applied on the what? On the shape, right? So now I'm just going to, yeah, I think regarding the animations and the transitions I've explained. So I'm just going to play the slideshow for you to see the difference. So now when I play the slideshow, if I move to the next slide, I will see that that animation. If I go to the next slide, I will see that what? That the first one was the transition. This one is the animation on the what? On the shape. So when I click next, the way the shapes are getting in is the what? Is the animation. So I'm just going to say and show here. Right. So we are about to start with the exercise for today. So is there anyone with a question regarding the few things we're doing? Because I'm now starting to do an example specifically. Okay. Is there anyone with a question? Okay, so it seems like there's no one. Right. But if there is, you can raise your hand, then I can explain on the few things we're doing. We are going to repeat those things again in the actual presentation. Yeah, in the actual presentation, where I'll be inserting things slowly, showing you how to insert them in the colors and everything, right? So I was just browsing through and also doing a recap of what you did last week by showing you some of the what of the items, right? So these are my instructions, right? These are my instructions, right? So we are going to do the instructions from instruction number 1A up to the end, right? So the first instruction says we are currently faced with a global pandemic due to spread of deadly disease caused by coronavirus as part of the government trying to contain, okay, to contain this crisis. They've asked the end user computing student to create a presentation on coronavirus disease to help educate people about the coronavirus disease. Open the what? The COVID-19. I've opened it there, right? So on the first item number A, it says on slide 2, right? Blank slide in bracket. Insert alternating hexagon smart art graphic and type the following in any order, right? What, when, who, where, why, and how. Change the color of the smart art graphic to colored accent 1. Change the effect of the smart art to 3D rotation, perspective 10 right, tilt up. The graphic should look as follows after applying the formatting. Right. So that's our instruction on instruction number 1A. It wants us to do those three things: inserting the smart art, typing in, changing the color, changing the rotation on the same item, right? So I'm going to open slide 2. This is slide 2, right? I'm going to do the first instruction. So the first instruction, it says that I have to insert a smart art graphics. So I click the insert tab. I go under smart art, right? So I'll be following the instruction. The next instruction is I need to click the alternating hexagon smart art. So I'm going to click it. Then I say what? Okay, right. So this is the alternating hexagon smart art, right? Now, when you check on my left hand side, you see an arrow which is facing the left, right? If I click the arrow, I'll see where it says text, right? I can see that I need to write inside. I'm going to say the first one is when, right? Question mark. I click this one. This one, I'll see that this one is outside of the what? Of the shape. So I'm going to click backspace. Then I remove the what? The item. I'm going to click the next one. I can see that it's inside one of the shapes. I'm going to write where and say question mark. I go to the third one. I can see it's outside the shape. I'm going to backspace and remove it. Then I go to the other one. I can see that it's inside the shape. I'm going to write how. Then I go to the last one. It's outside the shape. I'm going to remove it. Right? Now, I'm left with three shapes which are empty. How am I going to write? So I'm going to close this text box. I'm going to click the shape. I click right. Then I say what? Edit text. Right? I'm going to repeat again. I select the shape. I click right on my mouse. Right? I check where it says cut, copy, paste. I'm going where it says what? Edit. Edit text. Right? I'm going to write inside what in question mark. I go to the other one, I do the same, I click right, edit, then I write y question mark, right? I go to the last one, I click right, edit text, I write who in question mark there, right? Now, according to the instruction, these are the instructions on my left, on my right, I mean, sorry. These are the instructions on my right. Okay. Can everyone see the instructions? I'm trying to display them so that you'll be able to see them as well as we are doing. Can everyone see them? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right. So the first instruction I was doing was to insert the alternating hexagon smart art graphic. This is what I did, and I've also typed what, when, who, where, why, and how inside. This is what I've done, right? The next instruction, it says I need to change the color to colored outline accent 1. So I'm going to click where it says change color. I go to accent 1, right? So I don't click before I read. So I read when I point out accent 1, it says colored outline accent 1. When I check the instruction, it's correct. Then I click it. Right. Now, this is my accent 1 which I've selected. Now, I want to change the effect of the smart art to 3D rotation. So I click right. The first instruction, my shape is selected. I click right. After clicking right, I go on the bottom where it says format object. where it says format object, I click again, right? I will see that I have the first option, I'll read it, fill and line, I go to the next one, it says effects, right? So the instruction is saying change the effect of the smart art. So I go here, I will see that it says what? Effects. I click, right? Number one, which says effect, I'm done with it. I'm going to check now the shadow reflection and everything. It says what? It says 3D rotation. So I'm going to click 3D rotation, right? Now it says perspective. Now I need to click on the what? On the presets, right? I click on the presets. I'll see that there's no rotation, there's parallel rotation, perspective, right? I go on the perspective, I check the first one, I follow up to the end, and I go to this one. It says what? Perspective turned right, tilted up, right? According to the instruction, is the one we want to apply. So I'm going to click it, right? It means what is on this picture and what is on this picture is now similar, right? Right. So I've followed the instruction of number 1A. I'm done with it in terms of editing the what? The smart art. Right? Now, whilst I'm still on slide 2, they said enter using the 5W and H technique to learn about coronavirus is a slide note. Right? So how do you insert a slide note, right? You need to make sure that the slide you want to apply note is selected. So I'm still on slide 2. I go on the bottom here where it says what? Notes. I click where it says notes, right? What should I write? I need to write using the 5 W's and H techniques, right? Learn right, right, small letter T, right. Let me correct, right, fine. So this is the what? The slide note, right? Now, when I move to the next slide, to slide 3, it says click to add notes, meaning slide 3 does not have notes. It's only on what? On slide 2. Right. So meaning we are done with what? With the 1B, we are going to 1C. Right. It says move slide 2 to slide 3. Right. I come here, I select slide 2 on the left. I make sure that I press left. Then I drag slide 2 to the position of what? Of slide 3. Then automatically slide 3 is now on slide 2 and slide 2 is now on slide 3. That's how you drag. So we are going to do another method of moving the slides, which is not this one, right? We are just going to use the slide sorter as we go on with the what? With the presentation. Right. Now, the instruction says that on we are now on item 1D. Change the font of titles on slide 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10 to Arial Black. So I'm going to slide 4, right? This is the title. I select the title. This one, I go on home. Okay, let me maximize the screen so that you'll be able to see, right? Okay. Okay. Right. Fine. Right. So I'm going to select the first one on slide 4. I select the title. I have to change it what? To area of black. So I go here where it says what? Font. Pick a new font for your text. So I'm going to click there. Then I go to area what? Black. I drag. This is area of black. So I've selected for slide 4. I'm going for slide 5. I do the same method. Drop down. I look for what? Area of black. Slide 5 is done. Slide 6. I do the same thing. So that's how you change the what? The font for your text. I select again slide 7, area of black. I go to slide so from 7, I'm not doing 8, I'm going to 9. I do the same thing. I apply what? Area of black. I go to the last slide, slide 10. I select, drop down, then I apply the area of black again. Meaning I've applied to all my what? My titles from slide 4. Right. So the next instruction, let me maximize my screen. Okay, just there. Okay, let me open the instructions. Okay, right. So the next instruction, okay, right. Okay, right. Let me read the next instruction. So the next instruction, it says that on slide 8, customize the bullet list under symptoms and treatment to a picture that you have downloaded coronavirus image. Right? Fine. I'm going to the to slide number 8. Right. So remember, when it comes to bullets, we also have the opportunity to use pictures as bullets. Not these bullets only, but also pictures can be used as what? As bullets. Right. So I'm going to select under symptoms. So remember, as I said before, whenever you want to select, whether in Word or whether in Excel or in PowerPoint, whenever you want to select two different things, Control is the way to go. You always need to use Control. So now I want to select items on the left hand side and items on the right hand side so that I can apply the picture bullets once. So if I want to apply picture bullets for these ones, it means I'll apply for these ones, then I go again to the right and select and apply again. So to avoid doing a double job, you need to select the first side, which is your left hand side. You press Control, you go on the right hand side without releasing. So you press Control, you select the first side. Let me do it again. You select the first side like this, long press Control without releasing. Go to the next side without releasing Control. Then you select again. Then at this point, this is the only way, the only chance when you need to release what? Control. Because what? Because you've selected your sides. Right. Now, we are going back to home under what? Under paragraph. We go here where it says what? Bullets. We click the drop down. After clicking the drop down, you see that these ones are just general and normal what? Bullets, the built-in bullets. So I'm going to click where it says bullets and numbering. When you go on bullets and numbering, you discover that there's an item on your right hand side which says what? Picture. So you click where it says picture, you select whether it's it from online, stock images and everything. You select where you want to pick your what? Your bullets. So for me, I'm going to say from this computer because that's where I have the what? The bullet. I'm going under pictures, right? Under pictures, I'm going to select this one, right? This is the one which I want to use as my what? As my bullet. Once I have selected the picture and said, okay, insert, this is now my new bullet. So I'm no longer using those black dots as my bullet, but I'm using the picture as the bullet. So these are now what? My bullets. They are called picture bullets. Right? So that was the instruction about the bullets there. Now I need to go to item F, where it says in slide sorter view, move slide 9 to slide 10. Right, move slide 9 to slide 10. So at this point, I'm not going to move the way I moved before to say 9, I drag it to 10. I'm going to use what? Slide sorter there. Right, so you click at the bottom where there are 4 windows there. After normal, slide sorter, you click slide sorter there. Right, you drag, you see that this is your slide 9, this is your slide 10. Right, so I'm moving slide 9 to slide 10. So this is how I'm going to drag. So I'm dragging 9, I release it. Now automatically the 9 is now the 10, the 10 is now the 9. Then I click normal to go back to the normal what? To the normal view. But I've already moved the slide from 9 to 10. Right. The next instruction, it says on slide 2, replace coronavirus disease with COVID-19. So I'm going on slide 2, right? I'm going on slide 2. Okay. I'm going to remove this one. It says coronavirus disease. I'm going to type in COVID-19. Right? Then I remove. So that's how I'm going to replace. Right? Because they specifically said slide 2. So there was no need for me to use the option to say what? Find coronavirus disease. If I was not told, I was going to say find coronavirus disease. But in this case, they told me specifically to say slide 2. So meaning I have to go to slide 2 and change the word. Right. So let's go to the next instruction. Instruction H. Right. So instruction H, it says format the background of slide 1 with the image available downloaded coronavirus background image. Right. So I'm going to insert a background on slide 1. So make sure slide 1 is selected. Right. You go in slide 1, you press right. So make sure when you go in slide 1, when you want to insert a background, remember this background is on the slide, not on the text. So you don't have to select any selected. So you just go in an empty space. You just go in an empty space, you click right, you go, it says what? Format background, right? Format background, you click where it says what? Picture or texture fill. Then you say what? Insert from a file, right? We are going back to what? To our images, right? I'm going to click this one, coronavirus background image. Then I say insert, right? So if I want this background to be applied to all the slides, I will click where it says what? Apply to all. But if I don't click apply to all, the background will only be applied to the first what? To the first slide. So I'm going to click an X there because I only want it for the what? For the first slide. Right. Our next instruction. Right. Let me increase the size so that everyone can see. Right. So our next instruction. Now I've done instruction H. I'm doing instruction I. It says insert a new slide, content with caption, right? So as I was explaining before, whenever you are doing something, you need to know, is it a slide or I'm just changing a format? So in this case, I have to go, okay, right? Those are the instructions. They said after slide 10, right? After slide 10, I need to insert a new slide. So I go and click new slide, right? Once I click new slide, I need to click the one which is written what? Content with caption. So I click content with caption. This is my slide, right? After clicking the slide which says content and caption, what else do I need to do? Let me increase, right. Once I've inserted the slide content with caption, it says that on the text box holder on the right, insert a pie chart, right? I go on the right. These ones are the pie charts, which are under charts. We have shapes as well. We also have what? Smart art graphics. We also have tables. We also have pictures and everything. So meaning, when you are working with this specific slide, content with caption, there is no need for you to use the insert tab. If you want to insert a pie chart or a table, you just have to use everything is in the slide. So I'm going to click insert chart. Then I click pie for the pie chart, right? I select this one. Then I say okay, right? It's loading, right? Now, when you insert the pie chart, you see that a table, an Excel table will appear, right? So according to the instruction, they said I need to change these things, right? I need to change these things. So how am I going to change? I'm going to the first one. I'm going to say tests conducted, right? Test conducted. The next one, I'm going to write positive cases, positive cases, right? The third one, I'm going to say negative cases. The last one, I'm just going to say dates, right? Then I'm going to put the numbers inside. The numbers. So the first one was 12845, right? So it's 12,845. The other one is 02, right? The last one is 12,413. Then the date was 0, right? Where it's written sales is the what? Is the title of the chart, right? So I'm just going to say COVID-19 deaths, right? Then I'll be able to close the what? The Excel, because I'm done with what? Inserting everything, right? So let me write here. The title is COVID-19 states, right? Let's go back to the instruction. Okay, right. So this is what I was doing. I've changed test conducted, everything in this table. I've typed in. I've changed also the title of the chart to COVID-19 states. Now it says change the color fill of test conducted to gold accent 4. Right. Test conducted is blue color, right? So I need to make sure that I've selected only this part, only this what? This part, right? Then I go where it says what? Color fill. So I'm going to where it says what? Fill and line. This one is the fill, this one is the color. So I'm just going to do the color fill. I click the drop down here, gold. They said gold accent 4. This is gold accent 4. I go back to the instruction. What is the next instruction? Change the fill color of the negative cases to blue accent 5. Right? So I'm going to this one. I select. So make sure you only select that specific slice. Right? After selecting that specific slice, you go and look for the what? For the color. So they said blue accent 5. So this one is what? Blue accent 5, right? So make sure always when you are doing your colors, you need to know that the different colors. This one is blue, but it's accent 5, darker 25%, darker 50%. These ones lighter 60%, lighter 80%. So meaning they've different what? Percentages in terms of the darkness and the lightness of the what? Of the color. So this one is just blue accent 5, which means it's a standard what? Standard color. Right. Then the next one, instruction J, it says on slide 10, type the content on your slide to appear as follows. So meaning at the end, my slide should appear as this. So I need to type in COVID-19 statistics in RSA. This graph shows statistics of the COVID-19 as it. Then I write as it is. So I'm going to write those things where it says what? Add title, click to add text. That's where I'm going to insert those things. Then at the end, my my slide should be looking like this. So I'm just quickly going to type in, right? So the first one, I'm going to say COVID-19 statistics, right? In RSA, right? Here on the text, I'm going to say this graph shows the statistics of the COVID-19 is it there, right? This is what the instruction was saying. I need to type in as it is like this, like this. Then my pie chart should be looking like this, which we have done correctly, right? So now we are going to, yeah, we will be done with the slide just now. We are going to instruction K, which says insert a new blank slide 12, right? So for me to insert a new blank slide, I need to go after slide 11. I selected slide 11, then I can say what? Insert blank slide. So I'm inserting a blank slide. I'm not changing the layout because I don't have slide 12. I'm specifically inserting a blank slide for the first time. Right. Now, after inserting the blank slide, what is the instruction saying? Insert a footer on only this slide of today's date, right? So meaning on this slide, I need to insert a footer, but the footer should be today's date, not to all the slides, but specifically for this what? For this slide. So I click insert. After insert, I go where it says what? Header and footer. Right. So today is 26 June. As you can see, it says update automatically. So now I'm going to, they said I need to insert today's date, not with the time, only the date. So I'm not going to click where it says date and time. I'm just going to say what? Date. Then I say apply. So I'm not going to say apply to all because it has to be specifically on this what? Slide. So I'm going to click apply. Right? Seems like it's not showing. Let me apply it again. Okay, apply. Right, I've applied now. Right, if you check on the left hand side, you see that it says 6/26/2024, meaning this is today's date, 26 June. Right, so let's go to the next instruction. Right, after the date, today's date, instruction I, it says add a shape animation to the text in slide 2. Right, I have to go to slide 2. Right, slide 2, I select, I need to add a shape animation. Remember we said animations are applied to text shapes inside a slide, while these transitions are applied to the slides. To move from slide 1 to slide 2, there need to be a transition, which shows you that we are now moving from slide 1, we are now going to slide 2. So this one is the shape. I'm going to click shape. So this is the animation of shape, right? Now let's go to the next instruction. The next instruction, it says that add the grow and turn animation to the smart art graphics in slide 3. Meaning I'm going to slide 3. This one is slide 3. I select the smart art graphics. I need to select the animation, which is grow and turn. Right. So this is grow and turn animation. So I've applied the animation, grow and turn. Right. I'm going to the next instruction. The next instruction, it says that add the bounce animation to the chart on slide 11. Right. The duration of the animation should be 5. Right. So I'm going to slide 11. Right. Right. I'm going to slide 11. On the chart, I need to add a bounce animation. So this one is the what? The bounce animation, right? The duration, I'm just going to say what? 5 there. I increase it to 5. Right. That's fine. Right. I'm done with that one. Right. So it's bounce what? Animation. Right. Let's go to the next instruction. The next instruction, it says, instruction O, it says, add the crash transition to slide 4 and 6. Right. 4 and 6. So I go to 4. 4 is this one. It's a transition. I'm going to say what? Crash transition. Right. Right. This is the transition. I'm going to slide 6. Another what? Transition, which is crash transition. Right. Then the next instruction, it says I need to go to slide 8 and add airplane transition. So I'm going to add airplane transition on slide 8. I click, then I say what? Airplane. Right. So this is how slide 8. Oh, okay, slide 8 it's airplane transition, right? I've applied to slide 8. Okay, let me go to the next instruction, which will be the last our last instructions, right? Now, instruction Q, it says that change the theme of the presentation to Berlin, right? Now remember, when we started the session, we talked about the what? The themes, right? So don't forget that we have custom themes where you have created your own specific theme, right? Then we have inbuilt. So the inbuilt are these ones. So these are the inbuilt what? Themes. So you just need to point every theme and navigate which theme specifically. So in this case, we want Berlin, which is this one. We click Berlin and it will be applied to all the what? All the slides. Meaning, I'm done with editing and everything. I'm done with editing and doing everything within my information or my presentation. Now, I want to put the theme for me to present. So the theme, you put it at the end. Once you are done with editing, changing shapes and fonts and everything, you apply the theme at the end so that your presentation will look what? Will look nice, right? Let's go to the last instructions. It says what? Check for spellings and grammar, right? You need to go, it says what? Review, right? You go, it says what? Spelling. It has picked that this word is incorrect. This one is the correct one. So you just say change. Then it says what? Spelling check complete. Then you say okay. Right. If you want to check again, you can check to see if there's a mistake or any word which you wrote which was wrong. Right. The last instruction is that it says play the slideshow from the beginning. Right. So I'm going to the beginning. Right. This is my first slide. So I go to the slideshow. So when you go to the slideshow, it can say from the current slide. So it means it will start from the current slide. But if you say from the beginning, even if I'm on slide 5, I can say play from the beginning. Then my presentation will start from the beginning, right? So this is my first slide. At the bottom, you have the option to go backwards, forward, right? So if I say next, it's going to the next slide, right? Maybe I want to explain something. So remember, I'm moving from one slide to the other. So this slide did not have transitions, right? This is how you check. If I click next, this slide does not have transitions, meaning there's no transition between from slide 1 to slide 2. I cannot see that I'm moving from slide 1 to slide 2. When I click next again, I will discover that I was having animations on the text. Why? Because when I clicked next, the content did not display before I clicked next. It means there was in what? In animation. So I can say I want to explain to people before I show them. So I can say maybe I want to tell them that there's this and this and this. Once I'm done, I'll say this is the what? The answer. So maybe this was the answer. I'll show them after. So those are the reasons why we have transitions and animations. They help you to present your work in a proper way. So if I click next, I'm going to the next slide. It shows that there's no transition, but there's an animation. So there's no transition, but there's an animation. So when I click next, I'll see that the shape is getting in with an animation effect, meaning there was no transition, but there was an animation, right? When I go to the next, I can see that now this slide was having in what? A transition, because why? I'm moving to the other slide. I can see that what? That design. There's no transition in this. There's no animation. There's no animation. I'm just going. You see now, there's what? There's an airplane mode, which is the what? The animation. as I go on, another what? Airplane mode, right? This one is the what? The animation, right? Meaning, I could say, when I'm done with this slide, how can one get COVID-19? I'm done explaining, then I click next, right? So, because there's no transition, it just moved to the next slide. But because there's an animation shows when you click next for the second time. So when I click for the first time, it shows me that those are the things you do not have what? Any animation. Right. So you might be in a presentation, then you present COVID-19 statistics. This graph shows statistics of COVID-19, what, you explain everything. Then you say, this is the statistics. So you click next, then you say, these are the statistics, right? You now explain, these are the tests conducted, positive cases, negative cases, and the number of death. This is what was happening on the what? On the presentation and everything, right? Then you click next. This one is your last what? Slide. Then your presentation is ended. Then you click the three dots there. Then you can say what? End show. Meaning I'm done with my what? My presentation. You'll be done with presenting everything you were presenting. So I'm done presenting the slideshow, and I'm also done with the presentation. So if there's anyone who has a question, we can discuss them now. If there's anyone who has a question.
Yes, I see there was a question in the chat box.
Yes.
Somebody asked, please repeat for me how to add picture bullets.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, picture bullet. Let me open a slide which does not contain anything so that I can explain that. Okay. So this is the work file. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to open again the PowerPoint presentation, which does not have those effects because that one we've edited already. Right. So I'm going on slide 8. Right. So these ones are the inbuilt bullets, right? As I mentioned before, these ones are inbuilt bullets. Now, when we say you need to apply picture bullets, so the instruction, okay, sorry, right? Okay. Okay, let's read the instruction. Okay, so let's go to the instruction so that we can read the instruction and do it again. Right. Where it says bullets, right? It says on slide 8, customize the bullet. So remember, we said everything which does not come with the Microsoft package, you'll be customizing, like those pictures, you'll be customizing. So it says customize the bullet list under symptoms and treatment to a picture that you have downloaded, coronavirus image. So I'm going back. This is symptoms. This is treatment, right? So I want these items to have picture bullets. So I'm going to select the first slide because I want to apply picture bullets to the information on the left and to the information on the right. I'm going to press Control, right? Long press without release. Then I select the second side. Then I release Control, right? After that, I need to go under Home tab, which is Home tab. Then I need to go under what? Paragraph. Then I need to go where it says what? Bullets. Then I need to go where it says what? Bullets and numbering, right? Then when I go on the bullets and numbering, I can see that these are the inbuilt. These ones are the scales, colors, and everything. This is where it says what? Customize. So you can customize by these signs and everything, right? But me, I want to customize with a picture. So I'm going to click where it says picture, insert pictures. I click again, right? It takes me to the what? To my pictures inside the PC. So I'm going to drag. I can go under pictures, then I select this one as my picture, then I say insert, right? Once I click insert, the picture bullet is now applied on the information in the table. So that's how you apply the picture bullet. I think you are answered. Is there another question? Or have you understood or you need?
So far there is no question in the chat box,
Okay.
and there is no hand that has been raised. I don't know if we may proceed.
Um, we were done with the presentation. This is
Okay.
the work we were covering and the instructions we wanted to cover, which covers like mostly all the aspects in PowerPoint. Yeah, in terms of the shapes, the inserting of pictures, moving of slides. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the other ones we did were a repetition of what was covered in the first session.
Okay.
Yes.
So somebody was also asking if you may share this document that you're doing, that you are busy working on now. So I was
Yes,
telling them that maybe you can share it with us, then we can post it on the module communities.
that's not a problem. So I'm just going to share with you this zipped folder, this
Yes.
folder. So these are the images we were using for the background. This was the image we were using for the what? For the bullets. This is the document which they can use to mark themselves. So once they are done with this working file using this instruction, so they use these instructions to do the work file, then these are the solutions which they are going to match if what they've done and what is in the solution is similar.
Okay, now perfect.
Yes, so I'll send it to you, then you can send it to them.
Okay, now perfect.
Yes.
Definitely appreciate that. So, is there any more questions? You can type them in the chat box or raise your hand if anybody has any questions. I see someone is asking if it's possible to book an appointment, and someone's also asking if you can repeat how we add a pie chart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the pie chart again. Right.
Yes.
So I'm just going to add a new slide at the end of the presentation. So remember, as I said, whenever you are working with the slides, you need to know that you have a blank slide. You also have different slides which comes with captions inside, which comes with items like insert pictures, insert smart art. So in this case, we used which comes with what? Picture and caption, right? So this, okay, we can use the one we used before. So let me change the layout. It was content with caption, right? Content with caption. So content with caption, it comes with the what? Insert chart. So pie chart, bar graphs, line graphs, and other charts, they fall under what? Chart, because they are all charts, right? When you click chart, you see that you have column graphs, line graphs, pie charts, bar graphs, and a lot of what? Of charts you can use. But in this case, we use the what? The pie chart. So when you click the pie chart, then you click OK. Right, you click OK. Once you click OK on the pie chart, you see that an Excel table will pop up automatically without you going to Excel. Once you click any chart on the presentation or on the Microsoft, when you click any chart, it pops up the what? It pops up the Excel table. So meaning you can have, maybe we can say student 1, student A here. Then you can say student B. You can say student C. You can say student D, right? Up to the end, right? So I'm just going to do this, right? So let's say I'm going to say these are marks, right? For example, there are marks, you want to present marks. So the first one, I'm going to say 67, maybe got 67. This one maybe got 98. Okay, maybe we can say 64. You can just say 32. Then you can say 15 marks, right? Then I can close it, right? Now, as you can see, because I was writing in the table to say student what, student what, student what, right? Now I'll be able to say student A is the one who has this color. Student B is the one who has this color. Student D with this color, up to the end. C with this color and everything. So now this one is the key you'll be using, right? To say, okay, this student A, is he the one who is a bigger part or not? So student A is not the one with a bigger part. Student B is the one with a bigger part. Student C with another part. Student D with another part. Then student D with the smallest, part, right? So the pie chart makes life easier by you checking, like this one is getting a bigger portion than this one, than this one. However, once you have inserted this chart like this one, you can also say change chart, right? So if I click change chart, I can change it to a bar graph, then I say okay, right? So now there's no need for me to edit again the marks, right? When I say change chart, I'm only changing the chart. So student A, it shows that is around 60 something. Student B is around 80 something, 80, 90 something. Then student C up to D. D is the last one, which is between 0 and 20. So you can use any chart of your choice, provided your information is correct. So if you want to edit the data, you can just say edit data in Excel, right? Then you can come back and say, no, I want another student. So with student A, B, C, D, right? Maybe you can say, I want another student in T, E, F, okay, right. Fine, right? You can have more students, right? As you go up A, B, C, D, E, so you can add the what? The students by clicking what? Edit data, right? So by editing the data, it means you're able to say what? This student F is now at this mark. If you see that there was an error, you can say edit data again. Then you can say no, this one it was the highest to go to maybe 98. Then what? You come back. When you come back on the chart, you see that this one now is maybe the highest way is what? 98. So you can always come back to the what? To the source. But remember, we are not in Excel, we are in PowerPoint. But because the template we are using is a chart, it's connected to the what? To the Excel. So whenever you want to edit, you can say what? Edit data, and you can keep on changing the what? The marks for students. So this one is 98, this one is 98, so this one is now 100. Then I go back, right? As you can see, this student they have edited, it's on 100 on the dot. So that's how you can what? You can change your what? Your information, provided you have used the correct what? Correct elements. So I can also come back and say change the chart type to what? To pie chart, and say okay. It goes back. Now I have student A up to F. As you can see, these students F is like this one is like this. When you point any slice, it will show you what? Value 100%, 27, value 98, 26. It means this specific slice is containing what? 26% of the what? Of the entire what? Of the entire chart, right? When you go on the right, you can have different styles, right? So in this case, we can use which style? Okay, let's just use any, but I want the one which can show you the percentages, right? In this case, let's use this one, right? Now I've used this style. So this style, can you see that it says 27 and 26? This one, remember, is 100%. This one is 98. So that's why this one is 26. That's why this one is 27. This one is 18. It's 67. This one is 17. It's 64. So that's where the differences are coming from. When you add these percentages, they should give you what? 100%. So meaning the entire pie chart is 100%, but it can be divided. So if you add the data, you discover that the percentages will be what? Will be also changing. If I add the data, the percentage is what? Is changing. So this one I can say maybe 89, or I can say 81, right? Can you see? This one was 27 when this one was 26, but because of the editing, everything is updated. This one is now 22. Why? Because if this one is 98, if this one is 100, this one is 81, the total of these numbers, their percentages are calculated using the total number and the actual number for the what? For the slice. So that's how you play around with the what? With the PowerPoint. Right? Is there anything else?
Yes. There is another question.
Yes.
So the question says, how does one put a voice over that can be played as you watch the presentation in a slideshow?
Okay. So in terms of that one, you have to come under record. Then you need to say what? Audio, right? You need to put the audio on the presentation. So it will depend, were you recording while you were doing, or you are recording adding the audio or something. So it will depend which way you want to use. I think that one is answered. So you need to come under record. It will depend, are you recording while you are doing, or you are recording then you add a separate audio. So it will depend with what kind of presentation you want to present, whether you want to present first then you add a voiceover, or you want to record while you are recording the sound as well, while you are doing the practical work. Is there another question?
Um, at the moment, there isn't any question. And there's no hand that is raised. I just wanted to notify everyone that all the materials, all the recordings will be uploaded on the module communities. So you may just check your module communities probably at the end of the week as we upload all the materials and all the recordings as well. So you will be able to access everything there from the module communities. So as I say that we'll request all the material from Mr. Chuma, then he will send them to us, then we'll upload them on the module communities so that everybody can have access to them as well. Okay, thank you. Yes, I see there's a hand that is raised here. Um, yes, you may speak. Yes, I've allowed your mic. Is it K Mapoto? Yeah, I think maybe he's not audible enough. I don't know if you can hear him. So I don't think there's any other question on the chat.
Okay.
Yes, and there's no hand that is raised. Okay. I see there's a hand that is raised there. You may unmute your mic and speak. I have allowed your mic. Um, may you rather type the question in the chat box since you're not audible. I don't know if you may chat. You may type your question in the chat box. Then we can. Oh yeah, I see the question. He's saying the information never loaded. So for all the sessions, the information, all the information will be loaded. So for the other sessions, it was just recordings that were loaded. There wasn't material because this was more of like a training session. So there wasn't any like slides for the session. So it was just the recordings that were uploaded on the model communities. So we will upload all the recordings that are outstanding, and you should be able to see them probably by the end of before the end of this week. Okay, so if you have any issues, please just send an email to RCD inquiries. I'll just post the email in the chat box. Then we'll get back to you if you have any queries regarding accessing the information or any issues with the model communities. Then we will be able to assist you with that. So other than that, I see that there isn't any other question. And I see everybody just saying, thank you so much, Mr. Chuma there in the chat box. I think everybody is really, you know, happy that you were able to present this session. And it was a very insightful, interactive session. And we really, really appreciate your presence and you being able to present this session. And thank you so much again for everybody, for all the attendees, all the colleagues, all the esteemed guests for attending this PowerPoint training session. And would like to thank our facilitator again for their hard work and being able to facilitate this session. Thank you again, everybody, for attending. And I just wanted to give you guys a reminder that please, I will post again the feedback survey in the chat box. Can you please just take a few minutes to fill that up, and so that we may get some insightful responses from all the attendees. And thank you so much again, everyone, for attending. And thank you again, Mr. Chuma. We really appreciate you here at the RCD unit. And thank you, everybody, again. And enjoy the rest of your day. And I will now end the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you. I really appreciate. See you next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
There was another question which regards is it consultation or something?
Yes, I think maybe somebody wanted. Yes, I think it was about appointment. I think maybe you would like to make an appointment with you or something like that. Yes.
Okay, do you mind if I can just send the email so that they can send where maybe they might be having problems with PowerPoint, Word, or Excel, so that we'll see how we can assist them with those things.
Okay, now you may do that. You may drop your email on the chat box.
Okay. Yeah, so they can just send to EUC, DFC, then yeah, we'll see where they'll be having problems and make sure that everyone is fine.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
You are welcome.